congrats to you both on Fantasy Life. I thought it was a really charming film.
Thank
Matthew, I
you.
was curious. Sometimes when actors make their directorial debuts, they do something very different from the films they typically act in. Fantasy Life felt more in step with some of your past work. So I was curious, what inspired you to undergo this creative risk and do all this additional work to tell this story?
So, yeah, I mean, I think the movies I've been in as an actor are, or the ones that I think you're referring to, Noah Baumbach's work, Nathan Silver's, um, Between the Temples, they all draw from a kind of 70s, 80s New York, like kind of romantic comedy style. And it's just something that has kind of been a part of my love for movies and something I've sort of unconsciously absorbed being in these kinds of movies. So when I set out to write something, that's what came out.
I love that, and you put on a great one with this film as well. And Amanda, you've done such great work on TV recently, but this was your first film in a decade. What was it that grabbed you about this script and this opportunity that you didn't just want to star in Fantasy Life, but you also served as a producer?
I really loved the scene with the psychiatrist in the beginning. When I read it, I thought that this idea that this young man has these kinds of intrusive thoughts about his Judaism was so fucking funny and weird and brilliant. And immediately just thought the writing was so special and, like you said, charming, but also really like that scene is fucking special. And so once I read that scene, I was pretty much like, I'm in because I like this writer. And once I like the writer, then I'm like, what can I do for you? I'm here for you. So that's sort of how it happened.
I love that, and that's a great segue because I did want to ask you about that scene, Matthew. The opening therapist scene is just with the internalized anti-Semitism. Where did that idea come from? Because it just seemed like a movie I could see coming straight out of a Woody Allen movie. It was so funny.
Well, thank you. It came out of, a real experience of not that particular like complex, but being, familiar with obsessive compulsive disorder and how intense and kind of full of shame it can feel. And writing that scene, I just found a lot of kind of humor and, sort of in revealing character stuff by getting to see this whole kind of therapy session unfold.
Yeah, and it's such a great way to start the film because it tells you everything you need to know about this guy and his hang-ups. Amanda, one of my favorite scenes in the film is when you're mistaken for Lake Bell. I read that that came from a real life experience from you. Can you speak to not just being able to find the humor in that situation, even though it's played in a pretty, sad way in the film, but also having a collaborator like Matthew who's willing to fully collaborate with you and throw these real parts of your life into the character?
Um, uh, First of all, it's happened to me probably like more than 5 times that I'm mistaken for Lake Bell. So it wasn't just like a one-off. Which, I'm delighted. I'll take it. Um, but with Matthew, yeah, I just wanted to talk to him because I wanted to make sure that he was collaborative and not like kind of like a tyrant type of person. But that would have really surprised me based on reading the initial psychiatrist scene, just because I don't know why that's sort of a stupid thing to say. There are tons of people who are really funny who are assholes. But yeah, I wanted to make sure he would have a collaborative spirit and that he wasn't going to be really, ego driven or just kind of that he would try things, try and see what works. I like to work that way. A lot of people, some of my closest friends like it to be much more strict, but I find that having a slightly loose kind of vibe between the director and the actor can be very fruitful within reason. Like if you trust that they're kind of holding it, they've got you, but within reason, they're going to let you kind of do your thing. Like I find that to be like the holy grail. Um, and he seemed to be game for that. And since he was an actor too, um, first of all, I thought, oh, that's part of why he's so good at dialogue. And then also I thought he would be really understanding about the need to feel spontaneous and
Yeah,
to
it
try.
makes total sense, and that scene's really special as a result. And Matthew, what impressed me about the film is just there's a lot of small touches that feel very real. Like one of my favorite scenes is when you're both watching Battlestar Galactica, and you get one compliment, and you immediately start talking about your Blu-ray collection. Like I felt very seen in an embarrassing way. How was it adding these like small human moments into the script? Because so many instances just feel so real in this film.
Well, thank you for saying that. And that is one of my favorite details, the Battlestar Blu-ray moment. Yeah, I mean
Like,
that
I don't understand this. Remember
what
how
you
what?
still don't understand him in?
No, I was saying, remember how I was like, I don't really understand this. And you're like, no, this is actually very highbrow, Amanda.
Yeah. Did I say that? Well, I think
You didn't say
well,
highbrow, but you were
I,
like,
maybe
you don't know.
I talked about how Battlestar's golden age television?
Kind of, yeah.
Probably,
And
yeah.
then it's,
Um, uh,
sorry,
that
Tyler.
to answer your question, I love details in writing, and so that I just go for that kind of dialogue when it can work and sound real enough. And so I think that's I hope that it has the effect you're talking about.